Hey y'all, welcome to Geek Freaks. I am Frank. Today I'm joined by Squeaks.
It's me, Squeaks.
Oh
So,
man.
so stupid.
That's the kind of energy I need right now.
Oh, I saw that energy come from the bottom of his body. He was like, I'm so ready for this.
He Goku'd it, man.
Say my name first. Say my name first.
That was
We
incredible.
also got Thomas.
What up, everybody? I have a full disclaimer. I am half brain dead. Was at DreamHack for 3 days and still managed to get Mario in. So sorry if some things I say don't make any sense.
And we're recording this on Easter, so I'm sure you had family stuff to deal with as well. So just nuts.
As Nacho Libre says, I had diarrhea since Easter's.
Yeah. I love that, Chip. All right, so we're going to be talking about Star Wars announcements because, damn, they're amazing. All those recent trailers. We're going to be talking about some Harry Potter, The Rock, and then we're going to be discussing the Super Mario Brothers movie and DreamHack. So I'll put timestamps in everything. If you're like, I want to hear Squeaks do some more Mario voices, I'll put the time so you can just go right in there. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
You're good to go.
That's all I got, unfortunately.
I'm sure that you'll find more by the time we get to it. We're going to start off with our question of the week, guys. We added this to Twitter, so we have responses over there as well. What is your favorite Comic-Con? And I'll just straight up say like convention in general, because I'll throw mine out first, is going to be BlizzCon. And I know that that's not a Comic-Con, but it is a straight up life-changing convention, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. It's so epic on such a grand scale, and it's more than just the convention, but also the after parties and everything like that, the hype beforehand and everything. So I would say that BlizzCon is the best event I've ever been to. It's near Disneyland, but in that hype mode in my mind. So I'm gonna go with BlizzCon. It's that good.
I praise.
Yeah.
Squeaks,
what do you got?
Yeah, I totally agree with BlizzCon, but I'm gonna go different because they weren't all the same. So I'm gonna go more local, okay? And it's not really. I mean, it's kind of Comic-Con-ish in a way, but I'm gonna go with SAC Anime. I'm staying very local. And I'm saying that, I mean, obviously with the anime, there's tons of manga and stuff like that. So that's why I'm putting that connection there. But I've met some of my heroes, voice actors of Dragon Ball Z and One Punch Man, Demon Slayer, stuff like that. And I was fortunate enough to get things signed. And even though sometimes it is a pain in the ass to do it, after that whole battle for hours of getting signatures, I like to check out the vendors because the vendors have some amazing ass art or making their own like props and stuff. So I'll do with that. Yeah, that'll be my pick.
We got our press passes for that this year. You gonna go?
Oh shit, really?
Yep.
Which one though? Because there's a few SAC animes.
Yeah, though not the one that there's one that just passed, but the one that's like in September, I think it is, beginning of September.
Ready?
All right.
Can we
get ready about getting a booth? The booth is like $300. I'm like, I wouldn't mind having a booth at SAC Anime. That's a big event.
Yeah.
If I chip in for the booth, can I get a ticket? Because I love me some anime.
You have to chip in the booth.
Squeaks, you just said My Hero Academia, and I was just like, yeah, I'm on board. I'm there.
Yeah. Well, so this media passes, can we get our like interviews with the actual set of interviews with the actual people?
We have to set those up beforehand. For the one we have coming up, I've been setting up interviews beforehand. We'll also have a lot of interviews on the day of course, but we'll set this up beforehand.
Depends on how confident you get, because then you can probably even get an interview in the dressing room if you really try hard.
Yeah, we could do like those 2-3 minute interviews as well. The main thing is we get a business card in their hand so we can get a full length interview later on. But I'm sure we could get some interviews. So I can.
Because I got a pop duo and I have Goku sign, but I still was not able to get Vegeta to sign, and he was there, and heartbreaker, So I mean, if we got to interview him while he's changing his panties and stuff like that, fucking please let it happen.
If I get you to interview, would you do the interview? You haven't done an interview since the manga artist. Bitsy.
Damn. One, I would never pass that interview for Chris Abbott. But man, I'd be scared shitless though.
I've had interviews where I'm like, Melissa Flores is one of them where I was like, this one I just did was super good. I'll go over that some other time. But
nice.
Yeah. So all right, I'll get you that interview. But you got to be the one on the mic. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. For sure.
Thomas, what do you got over there, man?
I mean, I gotta say DreamHack, right? Since I was just there, right? Like, I'm a little biased. No, it was a fantastic event, but I think I'm going to go more sentimental and say LA Comic-Con. I've been to some other Comic-Cons, but this one was like the first time with you guys. And, you had a bunch of interviews set up for me, which was super awesome. I felt very, the Sandlot. There was this guy who started his own podcast. He's been in a bunch of movies and shows. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting it right now, but he was fantastic. I got to talk to Amy Jo Johnson. I got to talk to Curran Walters from Titans. Who else? Donnie Cates. Comic book writers. I got to talk to the creators of X-Men the Animated Series.
I'm still pissed that you got that Donnie Cates interview because he's legit my favorite writer, and it's just like, well, I see him talking to him like, Thomas, what the hell? To ask him to like hang out with me. It's so crazy.
Well, Squeeze was just talking about how nervous he was, and when I saw Donnie Cates, it was like, do I say something? No, yes, no, yes. And I was like, all right, texted some people. What should I ask? Went up there and. Really awesome guy. Obviously, he loves the craft, and just getting to talk to him about what he hasn't done that he wants to do was really freaking cool. So, I'm gonna go with LA Comic Con. That's always gonna be like a special one in my heart.
Yeah, that's good. Hopefully, DC's listens to our podcast and is like, oh, okay, Donny Cates wants to do Batman. We'll make it happen. I'm sure you're there for that.
Definitely.
So over on our Twitter account, So Wizards says San Diego Comic Con is still on the bucket list, but their favorite they've been going to is New York Comic Con. They go every year. Zach McCarry says that someday he'd like to go to San Diego Comic-Con, but he never misses an Emerald City convention, which is one of those I would like to go to. I know Kevin, we're trying to get Kevin some video passes for that because he lives right next to it or near it.
Anything in Seattle, I'm there. I'm there. Big Seahawks fan. Let's do this.
I've never been to Seattle. I would love to go there.
I'm a Sounders fan, so.
Oh, what? Let's go. Team trip. We need some team bonding. Let's do it.
Zero Dark Nerdy says C2E2 and Tune My Heart says D23. My boy Kyle says, Kyle from, of course, our podcast, Level Up and everything like that. E3, back in its heyday, but now it's BlizzCon. It's my boy. He knows what he's talking about. and then here we got Thomas here is like, LA Comic Con. Yeah. So great responses, guys. Clearly, there's a big San Diego Comic-Con bias, which I think is just all that hype that's over there. I don't blame you guys.
The build outs too. Like I've been around there because it's always falls on my birthday. And what goes around San Diego, like not even at the convention, but just around the city is insane. There's so much you can do just outside the city, even if you don't go into the convention. That's how cool it is.
Cool. That gets me so hyped just sitting over here hearing that. You were saying that tickets are for sale all the time if you like live in the area, right?
Yeah. Like if you check the San Diego Craigslist, some people are trying to dump passes. Like maybe they can't go for the first day or they can't go at all or whatever. So I saw some tickets online and I've been tempted, but I never pulled the trigger on any of them. But I think we can work our way in this year.
There we go. This all leads to the Capital Creative Showcase. The next episode of Geek Freaks you guys here will be live from CCS 2023. You guys are welcome. If you guys live in Northern California, come over to West Sacramento. We're going to be there. We're hosting the Mario Kart tournament. It's going to be this. We're calling it the Sacramento Grand Prix. We're going to be doing a quiz show. I got a bunch of medals to hand out, getting big fat chocolate bars, GameStop gift card for first place on the Mario Kart tournament. We're going to be interviewing game devs from all over California. Come and hang out with us, guys. We're excited for that. It's going to be a lot of fun.
You might as well hand me that gift card. Just saying.
Are you good? First off, are you showing up? Because I last I heard was
the communication's still being worked out right now. So I
heard Sarah might be watching the kids while you go or something like that. Jonathan was saying
that's
like,
what about right.
Yeah.
Speaks, you gotta go. Who's gonna sign those autographs, man? You gotta sign your own pop, dude.
Right.
You gotta go.
Oh my god, yeah, see ya.
Jonathan and I not only have done autographs. Oh, that's perfect. Not only has Jonathan and I signed autographs, but we've actually taken pictures of people with people and stuff like that who wanted pictures with us. So we might have Squeaks be our picture boy and be like, go talk to this talent over there. But it is a blast. I'm looking forward to it. This episode of Geek Freaks, by the way, is brought to you by Star Wars Jedi Survivor. The game's coming out the end of this month. You guys hang out with us. We're going to be streaming it. You guys, it's going to be continuing the amazing story of Cal Kestis. It's an outstanding story. In my opinion, it should be a Disney Plus series already, and I think it will be soon because he gets all kinds of love at that Star Wars event that just had. It's amazing.
Man, good segue.
Yeah, this episode is brought to you by that game. Link will be in the description. Let's get into the news. Yes, Star Wars celebration over in London. So many announcements. Just right off the bat, what's the biggest one for you guys? Thomas, let's start with you.
Oh, man. I think I'm going to have to go with Ahsoka. just because I love Ahsoka. I love that, we were just talking about it because of The Mandalorian, how much it's been tied into Rebels. You got me on the Rebels train. I've been watching Rebels. I love it. And then boom, live action. All the characters are there and they're played by amazing actors. Like, holy shit. Yeah, I'm on board with that. So Ahsoka for me is at the top of the list.
Same, man. I can't. I mean, just because I quickly watched through all of Rebels. Squeaks, have you watched Rebels yet?
No, not all of it. I think I finished the first season only.
Okay,
right?
so you got through the hard season to watch.
Yeah.
Oh, does it get better?
It gets
the
better.
first season's the worst one by far.
Oh shit.
Absolutely.
Okay, I was kind of enjoying it. So okay, that's good to look forward to. Then.
I'll just say Darth Vader versus Ahsoka. Okay, that's the next season you're looking at right there. So
in Rebels.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
It gets serious. Yeah, it's great.
Damn, man.
And then Thrawn. Woo-hoo.
Okay, you beat me to it. Son of a bitch. I was gonna dive into that and say that was my my big shocker announcement. That was pretty. I'm pretty stoked for. So
we know that Lars Mikkelsen's coming back to actually play Thrawn in live action too. So it's actually the voice from Rebels that's playing him in the live action.
He looks just like him too. I mean, I don't know did they model the character after him? Like, I don't know, but he has that look that looks like Thrawn. It's pretty crazy. I
think so, because Hera also looks like her character, and Chop Chop looks like his character. So, or Chopper.
Yeah, Chopper. Yeah, Chopper. Yeah.
I mean, this just totally looks good. Kevin put it best. His reaction to it on Twitter, when I tweeted it out, was like, "This almost looks too good. Like they're just straight up doing all fan service." Nothing wrong with that, of course, but yeah, it's just kind of like, hey, you know how you guys want to see this? Here it is. And we already got the Purgles teasing Ezra's return in The Mandalorian, so we probably have Ezra around the corner. Yeah, we also saw a projection of him in this trailer too, so we can expect to see him. Oh, yeah. Now we have a Rey movie coming up. It's going to be set 15 years after the events of the last movie. Yes.
I thought, okay, go ahead.
She's going to be building the Jedi Order. Damn it. Squeaks, let's leave with you, man. What are your reactions to this?
Okay, I heard she was coming back. I didn't know she was going to have her own damn movie. So...
Yes. You sound stoked. Not?
I'm a little... got me off guard. It's like being proposed when you're not really that in love, Wow.
Do I say no in front of him?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Shit, man. There's so emptiness to that character, I feel still, and there's nothing there. So maybe we can have something. Finally, I think Rey is cool. I think she's just in a shit series of Star Wars. I don't know. Maybe that's the best.
No, that's it. Because I think that first movie was really good with her in it, and it's unfortunate. And we saw the same thing with Finn. It's like, man, this just deteriorates so fast. And if we could redeem her somehow, like how Dave Filoni is doing with Clone Wars, and even with possibly with the newer movies, I would say let's give her a chance. 15 years later too, so we're gonna see a more mature version of her. It might be good.
Yeah. I'm hoping with this though, if this is gonna be continue the big production movies and not just streaming, obviously, that we get back to what lightsaber battles were about. I mean, from the prequel movies, right? They're fast paced, jumping around and everything, but this whole latest sequel just slowed it down, man. There was nothing exciting about any of those battles.
Well, specifically, JJ wanted to try to mimic the 77 movie. He was trying to return back to that film, but I think what Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are seeing, and actually I was just talking to Jenny Stevens, who did the PR work for the prequel movies, was saying that those movies are beloved now because people grew up on those movies. Yeah. So now our generation's man, I just want to see that fast Darth Maul, Count Dooku, boom, boom, boom.
Oh yeah, man. Turn me on. Yeah.
There you go.
So Rey coming back, what do you think, man? What do you think, Thomas?
Yeah, I agree with both of what you guys said, especially Squeaks. She was so fundamentally cool. And in that first movie, you're so on board with her journey. I'm so excited for her. And I do like her as a character, but she kind of feels empty. It doesn't feel like she's fully filled in. We didn't really, to me, I don't feel like she got a full arc to see a lot of character development. She's a great actress, beautiful actress, all these different things, but it just felt a little shallow. And man, I just want to see her really get to shine and go through some stuff and have to battle back. Because it was there, but it just felt so surface level,
Yeah.
I'm not that, I want to be excited for it, but it's not at 100 level yet. It's not like 100% hype. It's at like a 70%.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's good.
It's like the show without Bowser.
So let's look at that. You said you'd have nothing for us, and you're already building up. I know you're jotting notes down. Don't even lie. It's so funny because, like, Thomas, I've talked to you about this. Like, one of the things I use to just hype myself up so much is watching fan reactions to Thanos scenes, or Cat picking up Mjolnir, or all the Spider-Man scenes, stuff like that. I always use the fan reaction with. There are ones for Rey that are the opposite, where it's at the end of the trilogy when Rey's like, they're like, "What's your last name?" and Rey turns to the camera. You hear a bunch of people yelling like, "Don't you say it, bitch! Don't you say it!" And then she's like, "Skywalker, no!" And you see guys like, "I'm out of here," and stuff like that. It's like, calm down, guys. But I feel you. Like, she shouldn't have used Skywalker, in my opinion. But okay, I feel you, guys.
Wait, she's a Palpatine, right?
Is it? Do we even know?
I think she is a Palpatine. Wait, wasn't she like Palpatine?
It was a rejected clone.
Yeah, she's like the daughter of them or something like that.
See, I've seen that last movie twice, and I still don't know what her deal was. Like, I did want her to be a Skywalker or a Kenobi or somebody close to the good
stuff.
Yeah, like that was the rumor for so many years going into it. Like, she's a Kenobi, and then they're like, "You're a Palpatine" or whatever. I'm like, what? It didn't land right. It was a weird choice for me. Like, connect her to the good characters that we like, so that when she carries on this legacy, and especially now as she rebuilds the Jedi Order, we're like, yes, she's carrying on these characters we love. But it's like Palpatine. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. I feel like I could get behind that, the Palpatine, because it'd be cool to have like this like bad guy father. But I mean, fuck. I guess that already gotta happen.
Luke Skywalker's.
Damn it.
Yeah.
She is a Skywalker. Damn it.
Right.
But just it was so the story was just not present. It was just like, okay, this is who you are. And then even at that, I feel like we found out more because of the novel that came out for the last movie. Nothing about the movie at all was telling us anything, which was crazy ridiculous.
Yeah. So Bad Batch is filling in the gaps a lot right now too. So if you guys watch Bad Batch, it's starting to kind of explain the idea of cloning Palpatine. So, and which is pulled from the Thrawn books, the first 3 Thrawn books, which I had waiting for that first one to come in, but yeah. So we have 2 other movies coming out. One that is going to be focused on by James Mangold. It's going to be focused on the pre-Old Republic founding of the Jedis. This looks good to me. I've just been saying for so long, let's get Old Republic finally. I think we're going to get it with this. Thomas, you looking hyped for this? What's up?
Oh, man. I'm so hyped for this. This, if we're talking about timeline in Star Wars, right? There's only so much you can do in that BBY era, where the Death Star explodes, right? We've seen it all. We've seen all the Skywalker things. We've now started moving into different sects, but like, show us what happened when the Jedi were at their top tier. Show us when the Jedi were just everywhere. They were recruiting the best of the best. Like, they were respected as knights in the galaxy. Like, show us that time. And we've seen it now work with Game of Thrones, right? We got Game of Thrones and we saw Daenerys. Now, boom, we get House of the Dragon. That works as well. Do that with Star Wars, and I'm on board. This sounds awesome. And James Mangold is fantastic. Like, this is gonna rock.
Sure. I mean, you literally have Mandalorians versus Jedi. It's exactly what you'd want from what you're watching right now. And then eventually, post all that, but you can get to it, you get the first time that we have a Mandalorian Jedi that actually forms the Darksaber. How great would it be to see us forming the Darksaber? The recent From the Pages, by the way, guys, is all about the Darksaber and tells us that history. But it is outstanding. So it's a really good era. It's really cool. Plus Darth Raven. We could get to all that. That'd be really cool.
Fuck, hell yeah. Oh my God, I want to see Raven on screen.
Oh, he's so cool.
Oh, man.
Our next movie is going to be by Dave Filoni. Now, he has, since this announcement, clarified this is not going to be so much a Mandalorian Defenders type of thing, like where they do the Netflix and the Defenders. It's less about that and more about a New Republic story. So kind of when you're watching Mandalorian, Paul Sung-Hung Lee's side of things, which is like, that's perfect because I'm freaking loving that stuff. And if you're going to put Paul Sung-Hung Lee at the head of a movie, just take my ticket now. I mean, I'm so there.
Man, you say his name so well. Like, that's impressive.
I have practiced that son of a gun so much because he's going to be Uncle Iroh, and I will try to interview him as hard as I can because I want to talk to him. So I've practiced his name a lot.
Very nice.
Yeah. What do you think, Squeaks, about Dave Filoni?
I mean, has he? I don't know. I have all faith in him. And the reason, I mean, when that name pops up at the credits and it's something that's so simple as even just one of these animated shows, there is nothing that has ever so far doubted me with any of this work. So, yeah, I mean, I'm all in for anything that he does, especially Favreau and Filoni. I mean, that's the Star Wars do, and I don't want to see anything honestly made without their names on it. So.
Yeah, I love when you see
100%.
clips like there's so many interviews now that I just watched one where mid interview the two of them just like start going on a tangent where they're like and they start talking about like Star Wars lore, like no, but this one, and then they're like, oh my god, to be in the room and they start doing that, and then they're like, let's have Bo-Katan take the Darksaber or something like that, you know? It's like, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's great. I think what's nice is we also got a little report a little while ago before Star Wars Celebration that there was no ending in sight for The Mandalorian, right? And there was mixed reviews on it. Like some people were like, that's awesome, it can go on forever. And some people were like, wait, so all of these stories have no direction on how they're going to conclude. And now we have a definitive answer. Like it's going to conclude and it's going to bring all these stories together that you've been watching over the last few years in this badass movie. And we're probably going to get to see like the coolest action sequences of Din Djarin, of Bo-Katan, of Boba Fett, like all these cool, maybe Ahsoka jumps in, maybe the rest of the Rebels crew. It's like, it's very exciting. I think Dave Filoni, obviously he loves it. He's like, you know, George Lucas passed the torch onto him himself. And it's like, dude, it's going to be great. I'm stoked about that.
We have some fast ones to go over real quick. So Andor season 2 is confirmed coming out August 2024. Feels too far away, but I am sorry for that. Yeah. We got a little bit more information on the Acolyte. It's going to be focused on the bad guys. They said it's Frozen meets Kill Bill. And it's going to be focused on the High Republic era. Yeah. So I think it might be stretch. Maybe Palpatine is alive at that point. Like he, you know, that whole like Sith Lord pushing out your lifespan. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe we might get something like that.
So do you think they're not going to have the what are the villains in the New Republic right now? It starts with a T. Thrift or Thraw or
of the New Republic? Oh, like the
I'm sorry, is that what we're hold on.
No, this is the High Republic. So this is pre
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm sorry, High Republic, yeah. They're because I'm reading one right now that has like I thought they were called like the Thrall or something like that. Or
you know more than me because I could not get through like 5 issues of that comic book, man. I was so
okay, so I'm reading the novel right now.
Okay.
I was the same with you. I read like 2 issues and I was like, I'm good. I'm done. I don't want to waste my time with this. But I am enjoying the novel. And there's this weird group of like, they almost remind me of Mad Max villains, like this Wasteland group. And I'm pretty sure they call
like
it
Ravagers,
like
Fireflies.
And that's exactly what they are. Yeah. And when they're coming, there's always like a storm with them. So when you said that, they're, you know, that would be the villain, or introducing the villains, whatever the case may be. I thought for sure that's what you were referencing to. So
I wonder if in that chaos there are Sith that are forming plans, maybe throwing that as like a confusion tactic to kind of rise up. Because I think that's what we're gonna get is like the story of Sith trying to take back the galaxy.
Yeah. Okay.
At this point, aren't the Jedi like firmly in control? They have like a space station that's pretty sexy and stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Let's see them die. All right, we're going over to Skeleton Crew. They showed off this cast for Skeleton Crew. Not a big deal, but we did find out Dave Filoni's directing one of the episodes. So, you know, obviously we're fanboys over there.
Yeah, and the Daniels who just did Everything Everywhere All at Once are doing a few episodes, which I'm pumped about that. I love the Daniels.
And every time Bryce Dallas Howard can touch a project, I'm on board with because she nails it every time. Directorially, she's perfect. So please get her on more stuff as well. Yeah,
I always took a lot of flack for defending this latest episode, and I was like, man, I'm going to get raked over the coals. But I posted on numerous places, and a bunch of people were like, yeah, this last episode rocked The Mandalorian. And I think it did. Like, I really enjoyed it.
There's a big hot and cold on it, but like even if you look at just like if you're just taking the director stance, like you can't say that city didn't look so cool and like the way that they were running through the streets after that rogue robot and stuff like. Squeaks, did you watch the latest episode of Mandalorian?
No, I'm behind, but you talk about the Jack Black one?
Yes.
Yeah. I seen what people are dogging, and I'm like, what is this? But
it's fun. It's just a side story. Yeah. He says something about peaches. I don't remember exactly what he said.
Well, I'm on board then. Fuck what everyone else.
Of course, yeah. We had a new Indiana Jones trailer. I'm more excited for this than I ever was. I think I'm totally first day on this now. I'm on board.
Yeah. I agree.
Other trailers that we had, Blue Beetle. You, me, Thomas talked about this. You, me, Squeaks talked about this. Squeaks, you had some really good points on how these shots are all kind of borrowed. Can you go into that a little bit?
Yeah. So from what I remember, and kind of from what I saw, to be honest, too, is for example, the one that's really sticking in my head is the bus scene, right? The bus splits in half. Well, okay, I feel like that's pulled from Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is in the middle of the street, and he splits that bus in half. Okay, one. The other one was Blue Beetle. We see him fall from the sky or space, whatever, and almost hits the ocean, but he stops. Okay, well, in the new Shazam stops when he's falling. Is it the first one? First one, maybe.
I think it's the first one. I remember
the first one. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He stops like right then before he hits the ground. So it's almost like, like I think you said it perfectly. Borrowed. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
because I will say when I remember him taking the suit and he's going off into space, I was like, oh, that's like Iron Man.
Yeah, Iron Man.
Like the way he was taking off,
say.
I was getting some vibes from that.
Do we think that we're getting to a point where we almost seen it all in superhero movies? Like what different can you be anymore?
I definitely think we're jaded. Like I think like we, especially like this crew, like people who podcast and discuss these movies more than we should, I think we've seen it all. And I think for like the kid that might be seeing this, people are like, oh, that's cool. I mean, like guys, Iron Man came out 20 years ago, or not 20 years ago, like 15 years ago almost. So
crazy.
Right. So like there's a generation now that hasn't seen Iron Man when it came out in theaters.
That's true.
I don't know, man. I definitely get the borrowed shot. I would like to see something new, right?
Oh, man, I'm so hyped for this movie. I don't know why. I have so much, like everyone's like, oh, DC, I don't know, it's on shaky ground. I don't think so, man. I'm so on board with this. I like the cultural aspect of it. Some of the shots may be borrowed, but you can do things similarly and package it differently, right? It feels different if the character is different, if it's grounded differently. If I don't know, I just like it. Like the sounds, everything about it just really works for me. I'm so pumped for it. It's just like maybe it's because I love Blue Beetle as a character, but I just like if Blue Beetle is done right, I feel like I have more faith in a Green Lantern coming out, like that, because those visuals are kind of
look at Squeaks over there. You gotta go hyped up.
I'm just so confused because one, I never heard anybody say like, "Oh man, fucking, I'm like a big Blue Beetle fan," right? But then you threw the Green Lantern on top of that, and I'm like, "Oh, you like fucking hit me with an arrow or something like."
Sorry,
that's Thomas's favorite character is Green Lantern. So
shit, mine too. Nice. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I know we probably do like the same character, maybe different reasons, but I just like that it's an extension of the character. And you know, there's also almost this like Dr. Fate element where he's like trying to battle the suit itself, but just like my wife's Mexican. I love like just when she brings in the Latino heritage to me and just like kind of learning more about that. I love my like family-in-law and just there's a lot of similarities to like Hawaiian culture where I come from, and just that vibe mixed in with like these badass powers. And then you see Zolo come in and he has this Cobra Kai training. He's such a likable kid. He's just a sweetheart. Yeah, the way they hyped it up, like, ooh, he's a badass standing on the water, like psych, he's the pool boy. It just like all really works for me.
Which actually, now that I remember that pool boy scene, it was almost like Shang-Chi. Yeah, sorry. When he's like doing the valet cars. Where he's like, oh, you got this whole car coming through looking super nice inside with him and that. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, I totally get that, especially with your wife. My wife's Palestinian, and I thought about that with Miss Marvel. And God, I hope you have better luck than me. So, man, I tried. I was like, for my girls. Right. Oh fuck! I couldn't get through like the second episode.
I know. Come on, Miss Marvel is like such a perfect role model for both your girls. They look, just like her and stuff like that, and you're just like, oh no.
yeah.
Hey, she rocks in the comics, so you always have the comics.
In the video game, she rocks. In the Avengers video game,
absolutely,
I freaking love her in that game.
Yeah, she was stellar in that.
And just one last thing on Blue Beetle, I really like his transition into the suit where it's like burning out of him. To me, it was Ghost Rider. I was getting that vibe of like it like almost consuming out from him. I thought it was really cool.
That's kind of cool.
Secret Invasion. I'm going to be watching this day one. Are we going to review every one of these episodes, Thomas? For challenge
Absolutely.
Accepted?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I just challenge you to that. Just heads up on that. That's
okay. Well, that was easy.
Any thoughts on this trailer? I know we've been talking about it quite a bit and what we could see from it, but any thoughts? No.
I mean, I'll just say I'm so looking forward to it. You introduced Secret Invasion to me so many years ago, Frank, and it's almost like
you introduced me.
No, I think you let me borrow a comic.
Oh, maybe you know what? Maybe
I'm
you
pretty
got me
sure.
the Civil War. I don't know. We
You
were
guys
there.
are such good
Maybe.
friends. This is adorable.
But and so I've been looking forward to something like that too, just for the confusion. Like that's what I want. I want to
It's the
know
best
when
part.
I'm watching it. I want to know that I can't trust anyone myself. Also, and that's what I want. Hopefully, they do a good job with that.
I think War Machine's gonna be a scroll. I think he's the easy
Oh.
one. Yeah, because he's looking too confident. I'm like, nah, that ain't Rhodey. That ain't him.
Yeah, I think maybe Colby Smulders too. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, because she has
Wonder
already
if
been
Doctor
one in
Strange.
Spider-Man.
We always assume something's up Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. How free he was. Wonder if all this whole time he was a scroll.
That's
I
true.
don't know.
Well, yeah, could a scroll do that kind of magic? We have a Super
I don't
Scroll
know.
too, and he just doesn't. I don't know. I'm not necessarily a big fan of this version of the Super Scroll, but we'll take what we can get, I guess, until we can
Yeah.
get the Fantastic Four in the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That actor though, who's playing the Super Scroll, what is it? Benedict or something Aldir. He's a phenomenal actor though. So he's kind of under the radar, I still feel like, but yeah, he's gonna bring it. Like he's a like amazing actor. So yeah, we'll see what he can bring to the table to that
I'm
role.
looking forward to it. I like these Disney shows myself. We have the Barbie trailer that blew me out of the water. Like Barbie might be awesome because it's all meta and
Yeah.
like I'm just down to laugh and Ryan Gosling and all that. So I don't know. I think I'm on board.
Man, that last, I mean, I was already on board, but like that last scene where it's Simu Liu talking to Ryan Gosling, he's like, there's not enough beach for all of us. He's like, I'll beat you up. I'll beat both of y'all. That had me rolling. I was like, I'm so for it. I feel like Simu is like so low key, like comedian level funny. And then he finally gets to be funny. And then we've seen Ryan Gosling and the other guys be funny, like them just bouncing off each other. Like, oh man, I'm going to die laughing. It's gonna be
Gotta
great.
watch him in Kim's Convenience. Simu does really good job in Kim's Convenience.
Yeah,
it's good. Lastly, we have Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I'm super hyped about this. Squeaks, you were saying it might be a little bit overhyped, right? When we were talking about this?
Yeah, so I'm saying from the first one, I just think for me it was overhyped. I think everyone says this is the greatest movie in the world, so I went in with extremely high expectations, and they just weren't met. So I'm a little hesitant with the second one, but I will say, watching the trailer recently, it looks extremely good, and the story looks awesome. But also, are we going to get so many Spider-Mans in this universe that are we ever going to feel overwhelmed with it? Are they going to try to give everyone their little time on the screen? Because if so, then that's just too much. And I feel like, are we taking away from Miles Morales himself?
Oh, that's a really interesting point. I wonder if they'll. I think this might be an introductory for him to join the MCU, right? Because we already have Miguel talking shit about Earth 619999. I think I got that right. And so what if he gets thrown into our favorite Marvel universe, and then all of a sudden like he can join? I don't know, the MCU basically. I would think that might be our entrance point.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
All right, just some quickies here. Harry Potter series possibly coming to HBO. I think this is a terrible idea because I don't want you to touch those Harry Potters. They're perfect. I'm still reading that first book. Squeaks, you are our resident Harry Potter fanatic. Thoughts on this?
Okay. So when I found out, when I found out that this was basically going to be Harry Potter again, right? Essentially. Yeah. I was like, fuck, man, we don't need it. The movies are perfect. And then someone that's like, that loves the books. Okay, I get it. There were things that were left out and you can introduce those now because who cares? It's not a movie. This is just, the time is unlimited, really, right? With the series. Yeah. But with that being said, would it be cool to see it? Yes. But I feel like the things that were left out were not super necessary to be in the movie anyway. Like it was totally fine. Who gives a shit about this character or this ghost or whatever the heck? I mean, and so then also we're gonna see Harry Potter again, right? That's a tour deal. Why are we having a retelling to like these massive historical blockbuster hit movies? Why?
Yeah.
We don't need it. Now, if it was Harry Potter through eyes of different characters, like Harry Potter is just a background character and you hear his name because the events are happening, but you're actually seeing it from other houses, like their views and whatnot. That'd be totally different. And it's like, okay, sweet. Because what was, I don't know, a Ravenclaw student doing down the hall when the troll was in the bathroom, or I don't know, what the hell,
That'd be something creative.
anything random. Yeah. I don't need to retell you this. It's crazy to me. It's crazy.
Well, they're doing more Lord of the Rings series that are going to be set at the same time as Lord of the Rings, but they've said so far, we don't know fully yet, that they're going to be about other people dealing with the threats of Mordor, Mount Doom, and all this, and Sauron. They're not going to be Aragorn and Frodo and whatnot. It's going to be actually other places that were also dealing with rampaging orcs and stuff like that. So I like that idea.
So
then
yeah,
so you're hearing about like, oh, I hear about this. You hear about this hobbit that's got a big important ring. Go on with the other thing they're doing like that. I think would be cool if Harry Potter did that.
Yeah, most definitely.
Because there's a ton of schools, and then we could have eventually a season where they do go to Hogwarts to compete for that Phoenix Cup or whatever it's called.
Most definitely. Like, just the world is massive, it seems like, and it's like not explored enough. Because in the books were tailored to, even on The Cursed Child, which is after the seventh one, it's still tailored to Harry Potter's son. So it's still kind of like that whole same line, I guess you could say. But yeah, there's so much more, because what you're saying, like in the Goblet of Fire, they introduced like how many schools? And you're like, what the hell? Hogwarts is not the main school for witchcraft wizardry.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know. I mean, and then give me some dark stuff, man. Let me see like how all this,
Go back to Tom Riddle's days.
Yeah, something like that. How Baltimore was, I don't know, how he became a little bit more of who he is. That whole transition of him being nuts. Good. Something, or his team working for Baltimore doing certain tasks. Anything.
That way you could still use familiar names, and then you have Potter, but it won't be, maybe it's Potter's dad or something like that, or Potter, whoever the hell. Yeah. I know. I mean, we've already talked about how much we want Hogwarts Legacy to be a series, but I think that's a good adjustment, what you're saying there. I like that.
Yeah.
Moving forward, we have a live action Moana with The Rock playing Maui. Can you touch on that, Thomas? Because I know you were talking a little bit about The Rock.
Gee, all right, everybody. I'm on board with it, man. It's funny though. Well, I never finished the cartoon version. I will say.
What?
We talked about this before. Yeah, I never finished it.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Because I know we've talked about it before. Amalgamation of Polynesian culture, Melanesian culture, Micronesian culture, and like I come from Hawaii, so like I'm familiar with all these things, but I didn't like how spaced out everything was. It didn't really vibe with me super well. And The Rock has already said, by announcing this, he was already in Hawaii. He had his girls with him. He introduced it in Hawaiian. Like all of that is so cool to me. And anytime you can show Hawaii in a great light, in a great picture, and represent what the people and the culture is about in like a great way, like I'm on board with that. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm one to talk because I didn't watch the cartoon, but I'm down to give this one a shot.
Yeah, because it's not going to be shown in a great way.
Well, yeah, I mean, Disney's live action that they've been doing lately.
Yeah, I mean, but The Rock has a lot of respect for the island. He even said it when he was introducing it. Like, I grew up here, and he does give. Yeah. I wouldn't say he gives a lot back, but I mean, he shows a lot of support for people in Hawaii, and a lot of people back him. And so, yeah, I'm cool with it. I mean, hopefully he's doing well.
Does he come from an area that's similar to where you come from?
Kind of close by. I mean, He was only there for a little bit of time if you watch like Young Rock, but kind of close by. I think, I'm trying to think of what the school is. Right? Farrington. I believe you went to Farrington. It's not known as like the best school, but I used to play football against them, and everybody there is like super cool. And yeah, so it's very close. It's probably like 20 minutes away from where I live, or where my parents live now.
And you were talking about Jason Momoa as probably a better example, and maybe he could join somehow. Yeah,
absolutely. Jason Momoa is Hawaiian, right? So like The Rock is Samoan, and so he gives. I mean, he's more Samoan than I think he's Hawaiian, although he spent some time there. But Jason is Hawaiian blood. His dad was from Hawaii. He spent a lot of time there. He knows the culture. He could hang out in the rough side of the island with people, and they like love him, give him a ton of respect. And yeah, I mean, he's got like native Hawaiian tattoos, and it was done in like the traditional Hawaiian way. So yeah, he's like the guy.
I wonder if he could play like Moana's dad or something like that, or Moana's uncle. He seems like somebody's uncle, right?
That'd
be dope. I think
that would be pretty badass, actually.
Yeah,
But there's just a trident like in the background, because he's still Aquaman. Like just settle,
hey, wait.
just settle, settle, like it's no big deal. Just kind of if you catch it, you catch it.
That'd be awesome.
Oh shit.
Let's dig into while we're moving. Do you have anything else for Moana before we move on?
Nope.
No.
That's all I got.
All right, let's dig into the Super Mario Brothers movie. This is going to be full of spoilers, so keep an eye on that. Squeaks, we got anything else for you? I'm putting you on the spot now.
No, I ran out.
I was hoping for a full rendition of Bowser's Peaches out of you, but okay.
Oh man, hey, I've only listened to it once after the movie, so
sure.
So I don't know all the words yet besides Peaches.
What did you think of the movie? I know you and me were like talking a lot. Like during the movie, we kept going, did you see that?
yeah, which is good. Oh my gosh. Okay, so yeah, I definitely enjoyed doing that because one, we get to geek out together on certain like random things, but it also helps catch something that I like. There was one part where super subtle, where they're going down the sewers and it says level 1 and through 2 or whatever, and I saw it, and I was like, no, okay, whatever. But then thinking like, oh shit, totally forgot. Like if like the actual old games until Sammy, which was Nexus, biggest fan ever, was pointed that out. But and I think that's what made the movie more enjoyable too, is sitting here watching it with you, Frank, and get to like geek out together when it came to things like that. So yeah. The
thing I was rooting for was I was like, okay, they're fighting Bowser. I'm like, please grab that damn tail. And when they did that, I was like, yes, that's what I wanted so bad. And they threw him like they did in N64. That was one of the best things. But there were so many times where they were very good about it. Like when he put the raccoon outfit on, and it's like they put like the musical sting in from Mario 3.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of shows and movies that do this. SpongeBob is a great example of this, where it's like, this is made for the kids, but there's gonna be something there for you adults too. And this was full of that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think the nostalgia might be bumping up my like grade on this a little bit. But overall, what did you think of the story of it, though, Squeaks?
Story's fine, and I think a lot of people hopefully not are going to go with like, oh, well, it's not very complex or anything. Well, no shit, it never really is, which is totally fine, right? Kids movie on top of that. When you play a Mario movie, what's really the premise, right? You're just beating Bowser, right? He wants to take over something or steal Peach, whatever the case may be. But I did like that. I always referenced this in my head when we were watching it, that we got. If I remember this right, for the first one, we got Peach from like Super Mario World, not just like basic Peach, right? So we got Peach with an attitude, and that was willing to defend her kingdom and fight. And I super enjoyed that because I enjoyed how Mario was like the newcomer going to a new world, getting advice from someone that still needed that help, that assistance. So I feel like that was what amped up the typical like, okay, Bowser's just taking over kind of thing. But yeah, I've heard that, and it's like, come on, guys. I mean, what craziness do you need? I mean, until at least for the first one, the first Mario movie.
Yeah.
So,
I would just like, again, I'm gonna second that because who needs this overly complex plot for a kids movie with Super Mario Brothers? Like, they go to the world. He has to save his brother. He has to save Luigi. He has to help Peach. Like, what else do we need? That was great. Like, I don't know. I thought the story flowed. It was interesting all the way through. It made me laugh the whole damn time. And there was like cool action in there. And the way they weaved like little Easter eggs into the story with the story progressing was fantastic. This movie rocked.
Yeah.
I found myself laughing a little bit too much. I'm like, calm down, Frank. You're just laughing at the fact you see Mario on screen. Calm down. I do like how they kind of flipped the script on the damsel in distress, because it was Luigi that was really the damsel in distress, and shit. We had Peach try to teach Mario how to be a Mario. So it was really cool, and it worked. Like, it's not just that it was something they did new; it just worked, and it actually pushed their brother narrative quite well. And it's like Luigi somehow still makes Mario better, Mario. And I think that worked out really well.
I really love how much involvement Luigi was in it, and then what it took for them to come together to defeat Bowser. That was my favorite part. I like how it wasn't just Mario versus Bowser thing, that it needed Luigi as well.
I love when he's blocking that fire. I was like, yes, that's so cool.
I like everything they did with Donkey Kong too, where if you look at the history of Mario, right, like where he started was in the Donkey Kong game, and then eventually they have this whole like battle between each other. But I liked how at the end then they become friends, and it really works. Like I didn't know how I'd feel about the Seth Rogen voice on Donkey Kong, but it worked for me. I'm like, this is hilarious. Some of the stuff he was saying.
About that. I feel like he
A little
tamed down his laughter, his signature laughter. I think it was Sammy, or was it you, Squeaks? It was like, no, that's still definitely Seth Rogen doing his laugh.
Yeah, that was me. That was me. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, like 2 or 3 times he laughed, and it's like, okay, well, that's Seth Rogen. But I mean, that's probably my least favorite, like voice, whatever. Yeah, yeah. Shit.
By the way, his autobiography is very good. I'm about halfway through that, and it's like, oh man, he's a hell of a good writer, actually. So check that out. Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, we had Diddy Kong shout out, which I was super excited for that.
Man.
But dude, that Donkey Kong world, the way like everybody's on carts, and then obviously I'm trying to practice. It's so funny. I'm practicing so hard so I could be decent at this tournament, just in case I got to throw some numbers up there, And I'm watching videos on how to drift because I'm suck at drifting so bad. And people, like, if you actually play Mario Kart in a professional way in any way, you drift the entire time. You don't ever stop drifting.
Yeah.
And son of a bitch, if they didn't show that in this damn movie, where Mario's trying to escape, like, oh my god! And then he got the boost out of him, like, you suck, man! I can't get that down. I'm stuck at that so bad. Yeah. So it was good to see that he's better at it than I am.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a sweet one, and how they were picking the parts for their cart was cool too. That was like, this is straight out of Mario Kart. I loved it. Like, oh, the tire, whatever. And then they all pull up in their different carts, and Mario's got his traditional one. Peach has the badass motorcycle, and then Toad rolls up in like the monster truck. I was like, nice. That stuff worked for me, man. It got me.
Yeah. I would love to see if there's a person on this planet who's not a Nintendo fan or hasn't played Nintendo, what they thought of the movie. I don't think we can get that. I think everybody's too saturated. Because there are some things, like the eel scene I thought wasn't needed. Like, I think that they could have thrown DK and Mario falling into like friendship or quasi-friendship somewhere else. The whole eel thing felt like it broke up. Maybe there was too much of the jail scenes where they're all hanging there. Although I do love that blue star. That was, holy cow, that was hilarious. I think there might have been a little extra stuff and other things they might have rushed too much. That's what the thing Sammy kept saying, is they rushed through a lot of it to try to fit in so many references. Yeah. I'm trying to be objective in a movie that I really enjoyed, but it's hard.
Yeah, I get it. And that's what I was telling Sammy, or I think I maybe mentioned it too when you were there. It's nice to finally have like an hour and a half movie when it feels like the standard is 2 hours plus. And so, I mean, you fit it all in there, but I think it was still extremely enjoyable. But I'm scared of when a number 2 comes out. Did we use all our references? I'm sure that's probably not. But I'm just saying, there's so much.
We're going to Dreamland next, baby, or something like that.
Don't turn me on. But yeah, will we venture off of the Marios then? Like, well, and what's basically in the bag so that we could use to kind of like spark our.
I mean, you could do. I mean, Bowser's always going to be the bad guy, but yeah, Wario could be the next bad guy. And we clearly have Yoshi going to be born for the next movie. And personally, like, somebody brought up something. It might have been IGN. I don't think it was because it was creative. And they said something along the lines of like, Nintendo could actually compete with Marvel's MCU. Like, they have the IPs that are so established, like the Marvel's movies, where if they have a Link movie and have its own thing go on for a while, and then all of a sudden we see this big Smash Brothers thing where we need Link and Mario to team up. Yes, I'm there,
Yeah.
Cool.
It would be pretty cool. There's a lot they can do with it. I don't know. I'm not super worried about number 2, but I agree. Like, I love the length of this movie. It flew by. It was entertaining the whole time. But we got to remember, like, this is for kids, right? Kids don't have super long attention span. So yes, give us all the references and all the fun as fast as you can, and like get us out and let the kids be stoked. I don't know about you guys, but I went, like, after I watched it, I was like, man, should I just like fire up the Switch right now and put in Mario Kart? And
I did play Mario Kart as soon as I got home. Yeah.
I played Paper Mario as soon as I got home.
There you go.
Yeah. It worked. It worked. Nintendo does it again.
Yeah. I will say, as soon as I saw, because like, Marvel has that intro and I'm like, oh, I'm in for a good time. I don't care what happens. When I saw Nintendo have one, I was like, oh, I want to see this so much. Just as soon as I saw that and they had like the 8-bit Mario underneath, I was like, damn it. It's something about the music, something about the sound that's so ingrained in our DNA, our generation anyways, that they have an audience here. And the fact that our generation has kids now too, it's perfect for them. So I think we're going to see a lot more from Nintendo, especially like this.
Sure. I did want to highlight the action. Thomas brought it up, and I feel like it was very detailed when it was action scenes, like the fighting and especially the Rainbow Road racing. Just the whole like what was it that caused that last truck to explode? I forgot.
I think they knocked him off a higher.
Blue shell?
Oh, it was a blue shell exploded in the bridge.
which was
Yeah.
so, it reminded me of Mad Max, who's like, and they like go and they die. It kind of reminded me of that. It's like,
yeah, there was one.
Valhalla.
I forgot what it was, but Mario used something to help that with the blue shell's car explode, and I was just like, man, I feel like I'm watching. Like, where's Vin Diesel at? I feel like he needs to be popping up right now with his fat Bowser at the end. Like, this is like really good action. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't
Or
just
this,
you know.
the way they turn to a side scroller point of view.
Oh man, when that first happened, right?
Yeah. And then when him and DK
yeah.
are doing that too, it was like, oh man,
Yeah.
we play this, you know.
Hell yes to that. I love that little tidbit where it went sideways and you're like, yes, it's just like the game. And they made this scene. Dude, such a nice detail. Oh, they crushed it with that.
All right. Lastly, we have DreamHack. Let's get into this a little bit. You went down to DreamHack, Thomas. Now, this is the first time DreamHack visited San Diego. Is that correct?
I believe so. Yeah. I think it was in Anaheim before, but it's all over the world. I think they've done it in Melbourne and other countries. I can't name them right now, but yeah, I believe it's the first time in San Diego.
What did you think of the event?
Oh, it was great. It was a fun time. I mean, there was so much action going on. I think if you are into competitive gaming, this is the event for you to go to. If you can't make it to Evo, because there's so much cool. There was a fighting section where they had Guilty Gear competitions and Super Smash Brothers and Tekken. So they had all of that going on one side. There was a cosplay corner where if you wanted to dress up and cosplay as your favorite characters, they had a space for that. On the other side, there was art, there was merchandise, there was a full-time Rocket League setup. That was like a full-on like stadium vibe. There was people in jerseys and lights and fireworks coming out of it, and everybody knew the team. I mean, FaZe Clan was there, Genji was there. It was big, and you can meet the different players or like the athletes on the teams. It was cool. It was an action-packed time.
And you had some stars to talk to, right?
We did. Yeah, we got pretty lucky. We ran into Shad Goofy, who luckily remembered us from last time at LA Comic-Con. It was cool getting to rap out with him about this event. We got to run into, I'm totally blanking on his name right now.
Sorry.
Daniel Booza?
Let
me look it up.
Danielle. Yeah, Danielle.
Well, there's Danielle, and I'm going to let you pronounce her last name so I don't butcher it.
Okay, let me pull it up real quick. So I have the.
Yeah.
Busidi, probably.
Busidi, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't even try.
Yeah.
Let me reprompt you real quick. So you met a couple stars there. One of them was from God of War, Freya, Daniel Busidi, right?
That's right. Yeah. And she was super awesome and just a sweet person. She took, a good 5 minutes out to talk to us about what she thought about DreamHack and a little bit about the role of playing Freya and how she did her research for it. We'll probably post the full clip out sometime this week. But that was a great time. And then the whole voice acting cast of God of War went on stage and we recorded some clips of that. And they kind of talked about their favorite lines to record. They tried to like imitate each person, what they might do if they got turned into a snake, which I guess is something from Ragnarok. I don't know. I didn't play the game. So, but it was just an awesome time. They looked like they had a blast on it. Ooh, and one thing that you're going to have to stay tuned for in the clip was I asked her, with the success of The Last of Us, are you excited or do you think you could play one of the characters in the live action version of God of War? So stay tuned for that.
Let's listen. We're going to listen to that right now. All right. You also talked to some other cool people. Who else did you talk to?
Yeah. I also was lucky enough to talk to Eric Bauza. Man, if you've watched any Looney Tunes cartoons or I don't know, like any cartoon in the last like 10 years, Eric's probably voiced them. He's currently one of the guys who voices Bugs Bunny and just an amazing dude, super funny. The way he can go into the different voices on the fly is incredible. It's like such a talent. It's like almost unbelievable seeing the voices come out of his mouth. But yeah, he talked about DreamHack. He talked about representation in the industry, and we talked about like how cool DreamHack was. So yeah, an awesome little interview we got to do.
That's dope. So we're gonna have another clip for that too. All right, now that was an amazing clip. We're gonna have the entire full interviews on our YouTube, and we're gonna try to release them also on the podcast feed as well. So check out the entire full interviews for both those. But DreamHack did quite well. What would you suggest people go check out next time they go?
Yeah, again, I mean, there's just so much to do and look at. You know, if you're into any type of streaming or Twitch or gaming, this is the event for you, man. There's like so many different things. They had mobile gaming that people were playing Clash of Clans against each other. I didn't even know there was teams for that.
Wait, there's teams for that?
Yes,
Oh
there was
God.
like full, like a full bracket.
There's a time.
Yeah, of Clash of Clans with teams and sponsors. Samsung had a booth. Snapdragon had a booth. Monster had a booth. AMPM had a booth. AMPM even, we did a little video for them and they gave us some love too. Hot Pockets as well. They had this cool little setup. Yeah, I was like, they had this cool swag. There was this bag that looked like a Hot Pocket. And I was like, yeah, I kind of want that. That is kind of tight. Yeah. But I also could not stop getting, Jim Gaffigan's like Hot Pocket bit out of my head. So I just thought about that the whole time. So great. Yeah, but awesome all around.
Shout out to DreamHack. Go ahead.
I was going to ask, is there anything that you missed that you're kind of like, damn, I regret it, or that's going to have to be a priority next time you went or go?
Yeah, the only thing that I wish I got to see, but had to run home for some family stuff, was the finals. One of my favorite games of all time was Super Smash Bros. Melee. And then, what's big now, at least what was going on at the event, was Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And I was trying to watch as much of it as I could for the top 8. It was getting pretty close, but then, I got a call from the wife like, hey, I need your help. Can you come home? So I'm like, all right, I had to race home, but I really wanted to see the finals there. And I really wanted to see the finals for Rocket League because the hype it was like watching your team in the finals, and you're in the last quarter and people were losing their shit on the Rocket League stuff. It was, it was so awesome. It was
that's crazy. Yeah. You're crazy nice. Yeah. Shit, Sarah calls me. I'm doing that. You better find someone else. Knock on the neighbor's door.
He did spend 3 straight days at a video game convention, so
that's true. That's true.
And it was on Easter, so right, fair. Thank you very much, DreamHack, for inviting us, and we look forward to being there next year as well. That is really cool. Again, all the clips and YouTube and stuff like that, we're gonna put it all out there so you guys can check out every little bit of it and get hyped for next year. We're gonna end things off with our recommendations. Squeaks, you got a recommendation for us?
Oh shit. Yeah. Okay, you know what? We talked about it, so I'm just gonna do it. Okay. Whatever the reviews or whatever is coming out for the Mario movie, go see it. It doesn't matter if you're an adult or a child. It's gonna play to everyone. So because I saw it and I was like, well, I'm starting to think maybe it wasn't the right audience that saw this movie. Maybe it was those people that weren't Mario people. And it's like, man, I don't know how. If you're a Mario fan and this is your childhood looking at now on the big screen, I don't see where it misses for us and for children.
It just feels good to watch it in a weird way. It just feels good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. That was a good one. What do you think, Thomas? You got a recommendation?
Yeah, I do. Kind of off the beaten path. If you're watching Ted Lasso and you have Apple TV or Apple Plus, you already have access to this show, and it's called Big Door Prize. And it kind of took me off guard. Like, if you liked Severance last year, you're going to dig this. It's kind of like a trippy thing. All it is a machine gets dropped in a small town. And when you go into the machine, it tells you what your life's purpose is supposed to be. And then you just kind of start seeing what happens in the town. But I'm really enjoying it. It's really weird. It's kind of trippy. It's like right up my alley. And it's got a great cast too. So Big Door Prize.
That. I like that premise. That's cool.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. My recommendation for you guys is a book called Talks by Evan oh gosh, here it is. My suggestion for you guys is a book called Talks by Evan Carruthers and Eric Palicki. This is their first book out, the first comic book that's out now. They have a second one that's on the horizon. I'll have a link to their campaign for that so you guys can join in it. It's a post-apocalyptic world. What's amazing is this woman finds out she's a survivor. She's living Mad Max life. All of a sudden she finds out she's pregnant. And it's how do you mix this world and try to make sure that you're staying safe for your baby? Very good team around her, very good cast. The artwork is outstanding. It's just one of those things where it's this is like a AAA title at a at an indie level. So please check this out, guys. I ended up writing a full review for this comic book. It's on our website. You can go to geekfreakspodcast.com or gfpods.com and check it out, guys. And I got links to everything over there too. So Talks, really great comic book. Check that out, guys.
Damn, what a premise. That's heavy already. Yeah. I'm on board.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. And we will see you guys next week live at Capital Creative Showcase. Bye.